Thank you very much for your warm welcome, Your Excellency, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, Prime Minister Motley, dear Mia, Secretary General Dr. Clara Burnett, Secretary General Guterres, Presidents, Prime Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, it is such an honor for me to join you at the summit of the Caribbean community. And it is no coincidence that one of my first trips abroad since being re-elected brings me to the region. The Caribbean and Europe may sit on different sides of an ocean, but in recent years we have decided to stand on the same side of history. You are one of the strongest and most respected voices in the fight against climate change and to protect nature. We made history together with the Paris Agreement and the Loss and Damage Fund. We have championed together a bold reform of the global financial architecture to address the climate crisis, lift more people out of poverty, and end food insecurity. You have spearheaded this work, including through the Bridgetown Initiative. And then, when Russian tanks rolled into Ukraine, you were the first regional bloc to stand with Ukraine, with Europe, and with international law. And you did it because of your unwavering values compass, but also because of a lawless world where might makes right is just more dangerous for everyone. You have constantly and consistently called for just peace, not only in Ukraine, but also in the Middle East, in Gaza, in Sudan, and in Haiti. And yes, Honourable Deacon Mitchell, slavery is a crime against humanity. And the dignity and the universal rights of every single human being is untouchable and must be defended by all means. You always stood unwaveringly on the side of human rights. Your voice is heard across the globe. You have shown your big heart and your great courage, and Europe will always be grateful for that. Now, 3 years on, we live in an even more challenging world. And this is why the Caribbean and Europe need each other more than ever before. Major economies are competing for access to minerals, new technologies, and global trade routes. And you know exactly what this means for everybody else. Smaller countries, be they in Europe or the Caribbean, risk not only being squeezed, but cut off from global supply chains. You have already faced situations where it was impossible for you to procure batteries or electric cars or life-saving vaccines. And this is just not only unfair, it is in no one's interest, because there are challenges that all countries face, whether large or small, developed or developing. We all need to protect nature. We all need to stop and reverse global warming. The foundation of our livelihood is this one planet with its phenomenal nature. We all need to face rising threats to human health. We all need to grasp the opportunities of the digital economy while managing its risks. On challenges like these, we are not in a race against each other. We are in a race against time. So even in a moment of harsh competition, we need to join forces. And this is what brings me here today. In this world, where there's a clear attempt by some to build spheres of influence, where competing visions of the world order are leading to a more transactional approach to global affairs, where the disruptive potential of intense competition is rising, where there is no win-win situation but a win-lose situation is what is the right. In this world, Europe's offer is clear. Let's have a look for shared values, for mutual interests, and work together. This is the call of today. And our two regions have so much in common. In the last few years, our investment partnership has become stronger and deeper. First and foremost on decarbonization and nature protection. Europe understands how the fight against climate change is paramount to the Caribbean states, because it is intrinsically linked to your very existence. We understand how fundamental it is for small islands to have a front seat at the table where you can be the strong voice you deserve to be for this cause. And let's be very clear. All continents will have to speed up the transition to climate neutrality. We all have to deal with the growing burden of climate change. Its impact is impossible to ignore. Heat waves across Asia, floods from Brazil to Indonesia, from Africa to Europe, hurricanes in the United States and in the Caribbean. The clock is ticking. And yes, we are one planet. Climate change must still be on top of the global agenda. And its impact on development must be at the same level of priority. The world needs to move towards net zero. Every region should have its own clean tech value chains, and every region should reap the economic benefits. This is a central goal of Europe's Global Gateway Investment Programme. And today we are launching a new energy transition partnership to produce clean energy and clean hydrogen in the Caribbean. But we are also working on local clean tech value chains. For instance, and I love this project, by turning the dangerous sargassum, this dangerous seaweed, into a source of clean energy. Together we can build local solutions to the most burning global issues. What we have to do is join forces and tap into this potential. Work constructively together. If we work together and join forces in a win-win situation, We can move mountains. And there's so much potential here in the Caribbean. You have a skilled workforce. You have a strong education system. You have many rising industries. I know you want and you can move up the global value chain. And this is an interest we share. Let me take, for example, pharma. We all remember the disruption of COVID, and it was bitter for you. When it was almost impossible to procure not only vaccines, but also basic medicines like paracetamol. Prime Minister Motley, my dear Mia, you have mentioned several times your concerns on the silent pandemic of antimicrobial resistance. Today we all understand that every region needs to build its own pharma value chains, and this is why we're launching together a package for local pharma production in the Caribbean. It includes global gateway and private investments. It includes a regulatory cooperation. It includes more cooperation between our university for research, but also for skilling people. And all of this to build a Caribbean pharma industry, starting with Barbados and Guyana. Europe has a unique expertise and we're ready to share it so you can diversify your economy, because this is de-risking global value chains and it is in our interest. This is what I call the true mutual interest. And my third and final example has to do with the digital economy. Some of your countries have an amazing growing startup scene and are incredibly attractive for digital nomads. But you also face connectivity issues, especially in rural areas and remote islands. But again, let's work together. Europe has safe and reliable satellite infrastructure. And today we can announce together a new investment in last-mile connectivity in the Caribbean, because every region has the right to be a part of the new age of digital and artificial intelligence. And we know how crucial artificial intelligence could be in advancing the SDGs agenda, in combating poverty, and in fighting inequalities. Ladies and gentlemen, in this world of giants, small island states can find a new place at the heart of global value chains. With the right investments, you can play a big role in a digital and decarbonized global economy. And this is so important, not just for your people, but also for a more balanced and more resilient global economy. In a world of change, we all need reliable partners. And that's what you are for us. Europe will always be ready to listen and to engage with you. You, our friends, a principled, like-minded, and trusted friend. I hope that Europe represents the same for you. So thank you very much for having invited me. Long live the Caribbean and long live Europe.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission.